One of the greatest spiritual teachings Jesus gave the world in a lifetime of many spiritual teachings was the example of his own death and resurrection. In this video, I would like to share essential spiritual insights into the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus. Mystically, the resurrection is the victory of the divine self over the lower self. The victory of life over death, not only for Jesus, but for ourselves. We're all aware of the drama that unfolded leading to the crucifixion and resurrection. On Palm Sunday, Jesus was at the height of his popularity, and a week later, he was being crucified. Yet the life of Jesus was an example of what we must all go through in our own way to earn the crown of life. It is the path, our path of initiation. Esoterically, the crucifixion is the laying down of our lower false self. This is the part of us that resists the divine light, that is only interested in its own wants and desires. But we cannot let go of our lower self all at once. It must be done over time. It must be done gradually. After we have successfully surrendered some facet of our lower nature, we can then partake of the resurrection. The resurrection represents the victory of our higher self. It is when the lower self no longer has sway and our higher self now has fuller control in that part of our life. To more deeply understand what Jesus taught by his own example, you need to understand you. You are not your body. You are a soul inhabiting a body. Your soul is not material. It is not subject to birth and death the same way the physical body is. Your soul existed long before you came to this earth, and it'll exist long after you depart from it. The journey of spiritual development is the process of building the awareness of your true inner self, who you really are. This is the journey of self-realization that the Bhagavad Gita expounded upon and other great mystical texts. The ancient Greek mystical tradition taught, know thyself. Not the self we look at in the mirror, but the real self, the soul. While we are here in physical life, the soul is identifying with the material body it inhabits. As spiritual aspirants, we go through a process of waking up the soul. This is the journey every mystic goes through, the gradual transcendence of the material self and the realization of the immortal self through our own direct experience. What complicates the story is, when the soul incarnates, we don't just incarnate in a body, we also incarnate into a persona, an identity. The word persona means mask, like the mask an actor wears when she or he is performing in a play or movie. If the actor is doing a wonderful job, you believe them, but it's a character they're portraying. The actor is not the part. In the same way, the soul is not the persona, but we identify with the persona. When we are born, our name, our features, the environment around us, these become part of our persona. We need that persona to experience life, but the challenge is when we identify with the persona, when we say that is who we are, we deny the immortal self within. So we have to stir, we have to shake that persona. We have to slowly learn to temper it. Eventually, we learn to dethrone it, and this is the death or crucifixion that comes before the resurrection. Now, why would we want to go through such a thing? Because it is part of the natural process of growth. When we are children, we play with children's toys, but then we outgrow them as we mature into adulthood. At a certain point in our spiritual journey, we have a glimmer of our greater self. And this calls us to awaken the inner life, which is part of our spiritual maturing. If you're watching this video, most likely you've had the spiritual calling and you're navigating through these waters right now. In the ancient mystery schools, death and the resurrection is the initiation time when we drop some part of our persona, something that no longer serves us. In the early days of the Christ movement, the commemorating of Jesus' resurrection, what became the celebration of Easter, now observed by millions around the world, was both a religious experience, but also a metaphysical initiation. Jesus initiated a whole new era in the most ancient mystery school tradition. One of the most important things you will learn in your spiritual journey is to temper your persona in search of your immortal identity. As you gradually surrender the persona identity, you gradually open up to the real self. While the process of letting go can be difficult, the results are miraculous. We appreciate life more, how precious it is. We unfold more of the qualities of the life of spirit we seek. We unfold our spiritual power, love more deeply, our talents and skills expand. All the qualities of the spiritual life we are aiming for start to really actually unfold. And we are learning to be in this world, but not of this world. Why the image of a crucifixion in this process? That sounds painful and difficult. It's because in this dethronement process, the persona does not want to cooperate. It will resist your efforts until you learn to temper it. The laying down of the persona comes down to sacrifice. Sometimes painful releasement of a part of the persona that doesn't want to go, doesn't want to surrender. So it will take effort, discipline, and love to go through the tests and trials. Of course, this is demanding and difficult to accomplish, yet nothing worthwhile is achieved without effort. After the crucifixion, after you have dethroned a part of your persona, then there is the entombment. This is the day after Jesus died, but before the resurrection. That part of your persona is gone. You have said goodbye to it, an old part of you, and naturally there'll be a feeling of loss, a sense of sadness, or perhaps even grief. Yet as Jesus taught, you will be grieved, but your grief will turn to joy. Then there's the glory of the resurrection. Through rebirth, you have resurrected a part of you and taken one step closer to your immortal self, to your higher nature, to who you really are. That's a glorious moment. As you temper your persona, keep this in mind. The part of you that gets angry, gets upset, and frustrated, that can be hurt, vengeful, regretful, that's the persona part of you. That's not the greater you. The immortal you is the part that transcends all that. It still goes through dramas, but it doesn't get hurt in the same way. The greater self shows the nobility, love, wisdom, and all the inherent goodness of your soul. As you walk through this life, there is a greater life calling you. The teachings and examples Jesus gave us are the very things we need to embody in our own life. As he said regarding his own accomplishments, all these things you will do and more. Think about the things you're struggling with, especially the internal dramas that you have right now. Strive to understand them in a new light. Understand that as you work through these dramas, you are learning to temper your persona, to take up your immortality, the divine presence that's already in you. It's the greatest joy there is. The mystery of Golgotha is the mystery of our own ascent. I thank you. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel for more videos like this and consider joining our workshops and courses on the aura, healing, and metaphysics.